Hello YouTube. We're here today to do some Hungry Jack original hash browns. And there's a few other things that we do to them too to make them taste all good. I'm going to get some water boiling and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so I noticed on the top of this box that it says here, family size, servings, 5. Or it feeds one big fat guy. So I'm gonna probably do 2 of these because I'm gonna do Craig's yuck with it, but I'm gonna do it with ham instead of bacon, which consists of I do about 6 eggs and I scramble them, and I got some diced up ham. What I'll do is I'll cook up the hash browns. You have to have, it says hot tap water, but I like to get mine almost to a boiling temperature. I've done this before. And you just fill it up to this line inside with the hot water. And then the only other thing you have to have is 12 minutes on your hands to let it sit so it rehydrates the potatoes. And yeah, and if there's any kids watching this video, do not play with the stove, very hot. So what I do is I fill that up to about that line inside there with the hot water, and I just let it sit, give it the 12 minutes. We'll set the timer. There we go. Earl's already made my coffee. Woohoo! Be back in a minute. Well, 12 minutes. Once these potatoes are been in that hot water for about 12 minutes or so, I'll open the spout up and I'll pour off whatever water didn't get absorbed. Then I'll open up the rest of the container and I'll put it in the fry pan. But I did want to tell you, I save my bacon grease, my bacon drippings, just because it's a good way to, if you don't have, say you're not getting any butter from the stores, or it's going to be something that's harder to get or whatever, the bacon grease does not have to be refrigerated. It's like lard. You can buy lard at the store too, and if it's like coconut oil or olive oil, you can keep that in your pantry or someplace fairly cool, and it's fine for a long time. But you do need it to cook with, to keep things from sticking and stuff like that. So anyway, I save my bacon grease. I just put it in these cur bottles and cap them up and stick them in my pantry, and it hardens up just like butter. It's a little softer than coconut oil, and I love the taste. So, and then the other ingredient will be some, medium cheddar cheese, and I kind of mix it all together in the pan, cook it up, and it's kind of like a hash browns. Usually I use bacon, but this time we're going to use ham, scrambled eggs, and cheese. It's delicious. I'll be right back. Okay, well, it's absorbed most of it. I'm going to see how much comes out. I'm going to shut the timer off. I'm going to drain whatever water is left in this just down the sink. If you don't drain off the excess water, it'll take forever to boil out before it starts to brown. So that's what I do with it. And then I just pinch this top piece like this to, let's see if I can get a bowl out of here. this is what I do. So I pinch the top together a little bit, and then just so that potatoes don't come out. And then, as you can see, you get a little bit of water coming out of there, and it's always good to get that excess out, just because it just takes a long time for it to cook. Okay, so then you just tear the rest of the box open, and there's all the spuds right there. So I'm just gonna dump them in a pan, get it up and going, and I cook them until they're brown, because they're hash browns. Okay, they're on the fire. You can salt and pepper them, or not. I like to. I think that it looks like a pretty good amount. If it's going to feed 5, it's going to be a spoonful, because I know how this stuff does. Seems like when you get them, when it cooks down, it's going to be pretty small again, but it'll be all right. Like I said, it's a perfect food, storage food. You can add this to make more of anything, really. Say you're making, say you want to extend a meal, and you've got like a can of chunky soup, but there's 2 of you that need to eat it, and it's not quite enough. You could do up some of these hash browns, and you can pour the beef vegetable chunky soup over the top of this, like you could rice or anything like that, to kind of fill the gap. They also taste really good just on the side, or a breakfast thing like this. I used to I call it Craig's Yuck, but yeah, we'd be up camping, and I'd cook up a couple pounds of bacon. I'd cut it up and throw it in a big old deep pot, and I'd cook it up, and I'd drain off some of the grease, and then I would pull the bacon out, throw in the hash browns and cook them up golden brown. I'd throw the bacon back in. I'd cut up onions and put in there, or green onion on top, and then you put cheese in there, and you scramble up, a dozen eggs or so, and throw them in the pot with it and stir it all together, and we'd put it in tortillas and roll it up for breakfast burritos. And I mean, it's just a really good meal. It's rib sticking for sure. And so that's what I do here. I'll do a couple of these little dry dehydrated potatoes at a time. This is one box of them. I'm going to do 2, so I'll shut this off, and I'll come back when I've got both of them in there and browning. Smelling good already. Can't wait. I'm hungry. It's in there, sizzling away. I use a big skillet because it's either that or a big old pot, deep pot. When I do the bacon, I like it actually better in the deep pot. It's like a non-stick stock pot, because of the bacon kind of splatters and makes a mess, spits and sputters all over the stove. So if it's in a deep pot, keeps it a little bit cleaner and easier to clean up for sure. But yeah, I'm hungry. It's cold outside. Baby, it's cold outside. There's the view out our front window. It gave us a little snow last night. And it's sure cold out there. But, it's how we get our water. So I can't complain too much. Hi, pretty girl. Where you going? Oh, trying to chase her around. Where you going, sweetheart? Hi. Hi there, sissy. Hi. Your motor's running, huh? Yep. Oh, you're the daddy's pretty girl. Daddy's ragamuffin. Just a beautiful girl, huh? Clara. Hi. Hi, sissy. Where are you? There you are. Hey. Clara. Sister. Hi. Ain't she beautiful? Okay, well, they're looking pretty brown to me. This is where I throw in some ham and kind of give it a stir. Kind of like my ham to fry up just a hair in the pan. Mix all them flavors in with the potatoes. Really good with bacon. I've done it with Spam. I've even done this with hot dogs. So, you know, you can pretty much use anything you want. I've used breakfast sausages, the patties or the links, and just cut them up into small pieces and put in there. And it just depends on the size of the batch, how big your family is, and how many leftovers you want. I mean, I make enough for me and my wife to eat a couple days on it, and I'll just throw it back in the pan and warm it up the next day. Seems like it works pretty good. Yeah, scrambled eggs. I mean, this batch I use 6. So I stirred in the scrambled eggs. My wife was saying, I mean, she really likes the green onion in there too, and it is really good with it. The cheese makes it too. It makes everything taste good. So we do a lot of cheese. Craig's Yuck. And so what you do is just turn down your fire a little bit and mix in your cheese with your ham and your hash browns. And you don't need to brown it, but you can if you like it that way a little bit more. I just kind of let it sit and I let the eggs cook up. Try to incorporate it all. Get it all nice and hot, and it'll be ready to serve. Okay, it smells amazing. It smells amazing, just like it's supposed to. I don't know if there's a wrong way of doing this or not. I've tried it with just about everything, but I think if you practice with it a little bit, and you find out what everybody in your family is going to like the best, if it's ham or bacon or sausage or a mix of all three. As you can see, there's just tons. Makes a ton. And it works good for the next day. Like I say, the breakfast burrito thing works good, or you can just chuck it back in the pan and warm it up the next day. Only thing I could say is I wish you guys were here to taste this. I'd give you a big old plate of it, and you'll know what I'm talking about. That is like heaven on earth right there. Nice hot breakfast, everything in there, super easy. One pan. The cleanup is minimal. So anyway, thanks for watching. Give it a try. Yeah, I'm sure your family will love it. Be aware of your surroundings always. Remember where you came from. And remember how to get back there. See you later.